Stop procrastinating. I'm going to tell you 2 stories to illustrate why procrastinating is not what you should do. So Michael Jackson would apparently call his manager at 3 a.m. and say, "We have to use fireflies. We have to use fireflies." And his manager would say, "Why are you calling me at 3 a.m.? Call me tomorrow morning." And Michael Jackson would say, "No, we have to act right now. Otherwise, Prince will do it." In other words, these great ideas, these downloads are coming from some source, call it the muse, and if you don't grab them and take action, they will find some other vessel who is more willing. In fact, I want to share something that Elizabeth Gilbert wrote about the famous poet, the Pulitzer Prize nominated poet Ruth Stone is her name, and she died at the age of, 96. So being a poet is good for your longevity. Anyway, Stone grew up in rural Virginia, and she was out working in the fields, and she would suddenly feel like a poem was coming at her through the landscape, and she would know that the only thing that she had to do was run to the farmhouse to grab a pencil so that she didn't miss the poem, and she would run through the fields, and sometimes she would miss the poem and it would go on, and she would miss it entirely, and she would know that it would go and find some other more willing poet or one who had a pencil or pen handy. And other times she would grab the paper and grab the pencil just in time and grab the poem by the heels, so to speak. And then Ruth Stone, the poem, would say, the poem would come out perfectly, but backwards. So I think there really is something to this, that ideas, that creative urge, it wants to be born, it wants to be heard, it wants to be shared. So if you suddenly get a great idea, act on it immediately. That signals to the muse that you are a willing vessel and you're going to take action. Otherwise, unfortunately, you may find that idea that you thought you put off to do later, that the energy is gone by the time you come back to it a month later, 2 months later, 2 years later. So don't procrastinate. Do it now. I'm Aurora Winter, and this is a little tip that hopefully gets you writing today. Bye for now.